Man. When it rains, it pours. What's going on in Indiana? First, Tyrese Halliburton go down with an injury, cost his team a chance to fight for a championship. You got Caitlin Clark. You know, everybody say she carrying the WNBA. They want to see her on the floor. She been hurt most of the year. She's on track to come back very soon. What will the Indiana Fever do? Because they just lost all three of their starting point guards. All three. Caitlin Clark is out. Sydney Colson just went out. She tore her left ACL. And Aari McDonald is out. Broken bone in her right foot. That's tough. Because when you look at the Indiana Fever, they're a team that like to play, old school basketball. They like to slow the game down. You need point guards to facilitate and run the offense. Who's going to set up now? Aaliyah Boston could give you a few assists, but it ain't going to be enough. They need her scoring. This is trouble, folks. This is trouble. Will Stephanie White rush Caitlin Clark back and just have her going out there, half speed? Will they be able to get by doing that? I doubt that. These girls are competitive at times. They're going to go right at Caitlin Clark. Or will she let her sit until it's time for her to come back and risk her getting hurt again and possibly injured for the rest of the year? Because when you look at the standings right now, if the Indiana Fever was to put a couple of games together, they could have good positioning for when the playoffs start. But even when Caitlin come back, what's going to really happen? Because it's not like Caitlin could play the whole game. They ain't got nobody to back her up then. This is trouble. You know what's crazy? Sydney Colson, she barely played. But now that I think about it, what in the world was the coach thinking letting Erica Wheeler leave? That girl putting up like 10, 11 points for the Seattle Storm. Sydney Colson barely playing for the Indiana Fever. That's crazy. I know they would love to have Erica Wheeler right now. But when you look at the Indiana Fever organization, they a mess, man. I think when Caitlin Clark come back, I think they're going to have to let Caitlin Clark play her style of ball. The knock been on Stephanie White in the organization. They're not letting Caitlin Clark play her game, let them threes off. Just do her thing out there. Everybody else play off of her like it was in college. But Stephanie White, she wants to play old school basketball, slow it down. Stephanie White has an ego, But now with these injuries and the team desperately need like some excitement to contend, yeah, I think she probably going to have to swallow her pride and let Caitlin just do her thing out there. Because when Caitlin there, Aaliyah Boston is a whole nother beast out there, Sometimes you look at Boston, she look lost out there, but with Caitlin, she always on. Natasha Howard, she be hit or miss at times. But with Caitlin there, she gonna get that rock when she need it. You know what I'm saying? Sophie be hitting. But with Caitlin there, she gonna always be hitting. Sophie disappears at times. Because her role be going back and forth. With Caitlin, that she would have a set role. What's so messed up about this situation is Aari McDonald, she was in the league. She got kicked out for some weird reason, and she fought to get back. And she was playing real well. I'm talking about she was like giving you like 10, 11 points and 5 assists for the last like 5 or 6 games. And she was the main reason why they were winning. You know? She been balling, man. And for her to go down, I feel for her on this one. Now that I think about it, giving Kennedy Carter a call seems like that could be one of their best options right now because they need a point guard up in there. Kennedy Carter gonna bring you some attitude, and she gonna bring you the ability, somebody that could get buckets. The same thing that Aari McDonald was doing, you know. Ain't she a vet? You know what I'm saying? So Stephanie White got a big decision, man. Do she bring Clark back early, or do she keep her out and sign another point guard to help? And I don't think they just need to sign one. I think they need to sign at least two to go with Caitlin. Because you never know. Let's say Caitlin come back and get hurt again. You still going to need 2 more point guards. You need 3 legit point guards. You need depth. The good teams in this league got depth. You need it. Y'all let me know what y'all think of this situation. And what do you think Stephanie White will do? Until next time, this Sports Savvy TV. Once again, Sydney Colson, Aari McDonald out for the season. The Indiana Fever have no point guard on the roster. Will they rush Caitlin Clark back? Will they sign the right players to fit the offense? It's a lot going on with the Indiana Fever, man. Until next time, I see y'all on the next one, people. Stay blessed out there. Stay safe. I'm out.